officially come into effect at 9 a.m. GMT. The truce follows weeks of negotiations aimed at halting the fighting and allowing the release of hostages as part of the first phase of the peace plan. Meanwhile, Germany has announced a $34 million humanitarian aid package for Gaza, with Chancellor Friedrich Merz confirming immediate support as part of a wider reconstruction plan alongside Egypt. This move follows a recent ceasefire agreement aimed at ending the devastating conflict in Gaza. While Hamas has warned that the coming days will be a trust test of Israel's credibility in honoring the ceasefire terms. The agreement, brokered by Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and the U.S., includes phased Israeli withdrawal, prisoner releases, and humanitarian aid delivery, marking a critical step towards peace. In a related development, the International Committee of the Red Cross has emphasized the urgent need for Gaza hostages to be handed over safely and with dignity. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by Yossi Cooper-Wasser. He's an Israeli intelligence and security expert, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you, Yossi, for joining us again. Yossi, what do you think about Germany being one of many first countries to say that they are going to be funding the Gaza's reconstruction?
Well, I think it's a little bit too early. This reconstruction is going to begin only after Hamas disarms and the forces that are going to rule Gaza while having this reconstruction are being established. We still wait for the Palestinian technocrats that are going to replace the Hamas in running Gaza, supported by the International Stabilization Force and by the interim international force that's going to be in charge of the transition. All of that is not yet in place, and it's going to take a while. And first and foremost, the problem is that Hamas refuses to disarm. And without Hamas disarmament, nothing is going to happen. So first of all, I would, instead of giving all kinds of incentive to Hamas and speaking about reconstruction before it is removed from power, we should ask all the international community to send a very clear message to Hamas that they have to disarm and stop carrying out terror attacks against Israel and stop harassing their own population. For the population to enjoy a better life, Hamas has to move down from power.
And how crucial is the role of other international partners in supporting the reconstruction and rebuilding trust between Israel and Gaza?
Look, reconstruction is a part of something wider. The wider plan speaks first and foremost about de-radicalization. For de-radicalization of Gaza, the first thing that has to happen, as I said, is that for Hamas to move down from where it is today as an armed force that governs Gaza. That's the first thing that has to happen, because the new relationships between Israelis and Gazans cannot happen before there's a stage of de-radicalization. We saw yesterday when the news about the agreement being signed came to Gaza, everybody went to the streets and they were chanting, "Let's kill the Jews." This is not very optimistic when you look at the future. There's a long process of de-radicalization that has to be taken simultaneously to reconstruction. But we cannot start the reconstruction before Hamas is out of power and before the de-radicalization process starts. Because otherwise we are going to just allow terrorists to live in better housing and enjoy better life. This is not the idea behind this plan. The plan is about de-radicalization of Gaza. This is the first line of the plan, de-radicalization of Gaza. And we saw yesterday that how long this road is going to be. It has to be simultaneously with some reconstruction, and we are not against it. But we cannot start reconstruction before Hamas is out of power and before there's a beginning of radicalization.
And Yossi, when you say radicalization, so who do you think who can lead it or guide the people there for this?
Well, it's a combination of the international community and especially some Arab states that have already gone through a process of de-radicalization and moderation. We have a lot of Arab countries that are moving in this direction, fortunately, and they should lead because they can produce the textbooks and the education plans that would lead the Palestinians living in Gaza in this direction. Otherwise, we are just going to repeat the same mistakes of the past, where we reconstructed Gaza again and again and again, and again it fell into the hands of terrorists and that used this reconstruction in order to build tunnels and arms instead of really improving the living conditions of the people of Gaza. We have to understand the people of Gaza, some of them have been brainwashed for so many years that the purpose of their existence is to kill the Jews. So before something can happen, we have to start, at least begin to move into a different direction. Otherwise, we are going to just end in the same place like we ended in 7th of October. There was reconstruction in 2021 after the last conflict between Israel and the Palestinian terrorists in 2021. There was reconstruction. What was this reconstruction good for? Building the Palestinian terror tunnels and weapons. That is what they used the reconstruction effort for. We shouldn't repeat the same mistakes.
Thank you very much, Yossi, for joining us and sharing that insight. Now we move on to our next news. Venezuelan